right, welcome back to this week 4 edition of Third String. I'm Rudy along with Justin and Ian Cifuentes, also known as Chief. Chief, why don't you go ahead and take it away with the recap?
I bet. Appreciate it. All right, so the Dallas Cowboys, after suffering the first defeat, returned home to face Bill Belichick and his Patriots. Many expected a low-scoring affair that would be decided by less than a touchdown. Though the battle started evenly with both sides trading a field goal, Dakota Rain Prescott quickly took advantage of an ailing Patriot secondary by firing a 20-yard touchdown pass to CD Lamb. With a 7-point lead, the Cowboys' defense reintroduced themselves. They began their dominating performance by recording a fourth down stop at midfield, then followed that up with a strip sack and a scoop and score. Finally, a Darren Bland's pick six all but sealed the Patriots' fate as the Cowboys ended half up 28-3. The Patriots had no hope in the remaining 30 minutes. In the end, the Cowboys won 38-3, handing Bill Belichick his worst loss ever and proving in America's game of a week what the rest of us down here in the Lone Star State already know. That a good old Texas Cowboys 5 times worth of carpetbag and Patriot. All right. So,
since when did your personality become "I'm from Texas"?
It's just a joke. I apologize for that if anybody's offended. Well, okay. So, I kind of feel like we've had this conversation multiple times with the two New York team games. So I don't really want to bog too much down into the game performance, but I will say this in regards to the Arizona Cardinal game. This game had what was missing in that Arizona game were big plays. And not only in the face of the Cowboys' defensive touchdowns, but also the 20-yard pass to CD Lamb where the offense was clicking, or not clicking, but also took advantage. And a little opportunity, too, with the special teams taking advantage of somebody's aggression and going for two. So it was nice to see that missing. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts about the game in general, but those were my 2 cents that I took away from it. With big plays were made an appearance once again.
Yeah, definitely. You see that, of course, having Zach Morton back on the offensive line makes a difference. I think one thing that I know our first possession, we end up with a field goal, and there's, again, that narrative that, we can't do it in the red zone. When our tight end, as the worst hands on planet Earth, just drops it. But, yeah, I mean, that's nitpicking a 38-point performance. I mean, there's not much to really complain about. I think our interior defense looked better against the run this past week as opposed to what Arizona did. So, I mean, that was nice to see. Yeah, I mean, those are my kind of initial impressions. Justin?
And I know y'all two hated Dalton Schultz. However, you think that man Dalton Schultz be dropping these passes? Because I feel like every single game we've seen one of those 3 tight ends that have come in to quote unquote be the replacement keep dropping passes.
I think it's 2 different conversations.
The hypothetical of Dalton Schultz making that catch ain't for me. It was the money that was the issue, really. I never saw the sense in paying them, but
okay, so I was a little bit more emotional when it came to Schultz. I just had enough of that man say "hut," turning around and seeing his man just blow up the play in the backfield. I just couldn't handle that another season. So call me emotional, call me reactionary, whatever it was. I just couldn't stand that another season.
Now, these are fixable mistakes, but I swear it's almost every single game though with one of those tight ends. And I know everyone is singing the praises of Ferguson this game, but like I've seen that man in the past at the beginning of this season dropping passes, whether it be in the red zone or on like 3rd down, where it's just like, dude, like, can you just catch the ball first before you trying to do all this other stuff that's going on? And I mean, that is like, it is kind of, I don't know, like if we were looking big picture, kind of, okay, look, you got like some wiggle with your tight end 1 now, rather than like having old man Witten out there or stone feet Dalton Schultz out there. But at the same time, I really want to see more consistency from that group as a whole. I know it's unfair to pile on 3 three people's mistakes all into one. But I feel like they've left food on the table and left money on the table in each of these 4 games.
I agree with both of y'all that execution is a problem in the red zone. But Justin, I will offer a counterpoint: is do you not think Ferguson has improved each game um, going forward?
Yeah, but collectively as a group, they're all one and the same, in my opinion, at this point until one of them takes. Because I mean, like obviously, yes, Ferguson, you would probably argue is the best of the three, but like, how much better is he than everybody else? So collectively, if they're going to be utilized like they are right now, with they all getting kind of equal share of the reps, I'm gonna need some consistency all across the board from the entire group.
Justin said McKenna earned playing time recovering that fumble while we were up like
That's
24
some that's
points or
some good
whatever.
hustle right there. He might get the active he might get active other than Hendershot. I don't know. Who am I to decide with that? But I know the film room that's going to be highlighted in there.
Sure.
Well, we're
And
real. Yeah,
yeah,
go ahead.
go ahead. Well, I was
Oh,
just gonna
okay.
say I was just gonna say, and that kind of like effort has been consistent throughout the season so far. So, I mean, clearly that's something they're emphasizing. Ian, my fault. Go ahead.
Well, fellas, did we discover something in that game in the fourth quarter in the name of something Lipke?
No,
I for-
no. I swear, you just threw that in there to draw me off sides. Bro, literally, the play before that, like, obviously, like, he scored the touchdown. Let's be honest, that was pretty well blocked, if we're being honest. The man didn't really have to do much on that play. But the play before that, oh my goodness, bro. That man got, like, zero power below the legs. And if you ask me, I mean, I know that's a little unfair, small sample size and everything. But, like, that man got driven back by the slightest little bit of contact, and it's almost like he couldn't even like not to beat a dead horse that we always be bringing up Zeke, but that man at least knew how to fall forward. I feel like the more like I know everybody's infatuated with it right now, but like I feel like the more opportunities you give that man, I swear we're gonna find out that man got no forward momentum whatsoever.
uh, yeah. All right. So let's take a bigger overview of the Cowboys' season so far. We're about a
Wait,
quarter
y'all
of the
just
way
gonna let
through.
me out the dry like that? No other comment?
I
Really?
mean,
Like,
there was nothing to add. He played 2 plays.
No, you said it perfectly, man.
all right, go ahead. I just didn't want to be the only one to just pile on a man and that
All
scored
right.
his
Well, if
first
I had to say
touchdown.
something, if I had to agree, I just remember him. I think it was like the first week that man was poo poo and blocking down in the goal line. So it's kind of funny how people quickly forget how just because he gets into the end zone, people are like, "Whoa, this is the weapon." Like, come on now. Like, I don't understand why he's a weapon all of a sudden just because he ran it in. Like, what are we doing? But
I mean,
that's more of outrage
anything.
to the reaction of it more than his play. So that's why I wasn't saying anything. Just hang on. I'm tapping the brakes on Lepke being an offensive weapon with that atrocious number 40 out there, man. Let me get a number change first, and then we can talk about him being a weapon. But okay, let's move on to the Cowboy season as a whole so far. We're a quarter of the way through the season. Blah blah blah. 16 games, 17 games, not technically a quarter of the way through. I mean, who gives a f about the 17th game? That game hardly matters nowadays, anyways. But okay, so we're 3-1. 75% of the games that we played have been utter domination or over by the third quarter, if not earlier. Um, we have a plus 83 point differential despite our rare zone deficiencies. Only one turnover so far. Uh, Offense as a whole, man, I feel like McCarthy has kept his promise into being a guy who says complimentary football is the most important. He wants to run the damn ball, which is what he was upset with Kellen Moore is as going for points and stuff like that. I mean, can anybody disagree that McCarthy has kept his promise on how he wants to move this team forward?
No, I mean, just like you said, and we had talked about it a week or 2 weeks ago, I think, when we were talking about how McCarthy's play calling's been going. That it is different from the predictable Kellen Moore offense that we had run in the past. He is definitely pounding the rock much more, And of the 4 games, the one that we lost, we're missing, our offensive lineman, which is going to impact that a big deal. So, no, I mean, he's definitely kept what he said he's going to do, and it's been doing well.
I know a lot of people are clamoring for the big play or the deep ball and all that. And you know, if we were to grade the offense through 1/4 of the season, I'm gonna call it 1/4, just like you said, 17th game. Who cares about all that? Even though it might matter, who knows? But it looks a lot more presentable. But I would give McCarthy a B minus, but if they could clean up some red zone stuff, it would be an A minus. Like I feel like it's not bad, but like obviously, and he's kept this promise, and I don't have a really problem overall, like big picture, just because of how the way these games have operated. But if the man could just figure out the red zone and they can figure out the red zone and not to like make a big deal about the red zone, but that man in the three over the 3.6 or 3.7 grade point average, if we're being honest, if they can get that fixed.
Justin, I have to call into question your grading system real quickly. You said he's a B minus. I would give him a B, but also you said if he converts in the red zone, he's just an A minus. This man putting up 30 points with red zone deficiencies. If he converts those touchdowns, we're talking maybe 40, almost damn near 50 points a game, and you're still going to give this man an A minus?
I gotta see it because I gotta see it consistently through the rest of the quarter.
The new standard 70.
I mean,
70 points a game.
just because your attendance has happened through the first couple of weeks of the semester doesn't mean what's gonna happen when them 8 a.m.s get tougher and tougher to get up to. So we've seen we've seen Kellen Moore be the student with the apple in the front row through the first 6 weeks of the semester every year. And then that man be hitting the beer bong too much the Thursday nights on dollar beer night or whatever, and not showing up to class, and that attendance be so. Hey, my curriculum and my grading scale. Hey, there's a lot of opportunity from old McCarthy to earn that A plus, but as of right now, that man is doing a good job. He keeps doing what he's doing, but we put in a little bit of extra work. Hey, McCarthy's got an A plus heading his way at the end of the semester.
All right. Well, Justin sounds like that teacher that wants you to come in office hours just to get you that A plus. The teacher that we all didn't like. I would give him a B plus with time of possession and controlling the clock, controlling field possession. I think he's done outstanding. Obviously, the only thing holding him back from A is just red zone efficiency. Rudy, I'm interested in your grade of McCarthy.
Yeah, it's right around where y'all have it. It's a B, and it's just like y'all said. It's just the red zone is the only complaint. I mean, what else can you say that he's done poorly in? Not really anything. So I think B is fine for now. Like both of y'all said, just need some more red zone conversions.
Okay, so the start of the season, like I said, 3-1, 83-point differential, looking only one turnover, looking really good. But, however, we are behind probably the two NFC leaders. Well, definitely the two NFC leaders, which is San Fran and Philadelphia, one game. So I guess just with that in mind, how would you rate the quarter point of this schedule overall as a team performance?
I'll give
Go ahead, Justin.
I'll give it an A. I mean, you still
expectation wise, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you haven't failed expectation. Like, don't let the perception of what the New York teams have become and what the Patriots have become from being like, oh well, those, like, honestly, like the beginning of the season, a lot of people were probably like, oh, I could see them dropping this game to the New York Giants. I could see them dropping this game to the New York Jets. Hey, Bill Belichick, that's a person that you gotta be on your P's and Q's, yada yada yada. And just because like you whooped their ass and left no room for doubt, and you fumbled the ball in Arizona, hey, it happens. But the good thing about this is you have an opportunity. Like, say what you want about like, okay, well, the 49ers are still undefeated, the Eagles are still undefeated. You still have opportunities to play those two teams, which in the past you didn't have an opportunity to play San Francisco. Last year, your quarterback broke his hand, and you were just hoping to skate by before Philly just racked up all these wins. Well, you could still keep pace with Philly, and you could still leave no doubt in a sense that hey, you get to play them twice and get to decide your fate because of that now. And it's still in front of you. Like nothing's changed since we started the season.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. I would say like a B plus. Again, the only bump in the road is the Arizona game. Of course, you were dealing with injuries there, but it just was too. We had a bunch of penalties, and we just didn't show up to play. And I felt like it's too early in the season to get that comfortable smelling your own stuff. So I mean, I'll still give them a B plus though.
Yeah, I would think it's the funny part is going to the season. All right, so we played the Giants. That was definitely a coin toss of a game, and you kicked their ass. And then we go into New York. All right, they lost Aaron Rodgers, but they just beat Buffalo on Monday night. People were saying, all right, that could be a tough game. Kick their ass. Nah, Zach Wilson's trash. Arizona, they're trash. We lose that one game where it's not expected to be a tough contest. And people were already downing the Patriots. But once we lose that Arizona game, people say, this Patriot game, man, it could go either way. And then you kick their ass. So it's kind of funny how we go above expectations in games that are close. And then you kind of falter in the games that are not supposed to be close, which is just the Arizona game. But like Rudy said, it just happened just the way, we lost 2 linemen on Friday. And,
Well, and Diggs. I just think
oh, yeah, that too.
I think also part of what that defensive performance is, and I mean this could also reflect in the grading too, is the conduct. This defense be too emotional sometimes, bro. Like they be wearing that stuff on their sleeves, which I mean that's a good thing. Like get them charged up and whatnot, ready to go. But like I feel like I was telling you this, Ian. Like I feel like during that Arizona game, I'm like, man, where's the swag? Like all this bravado that they've had the past 3 years now, and they're McCarthy. It's almost like that. All that at least that week, it's almost like that all evaporated when Diggs went out of the lineup. On that, obviously, granted, it was on a Thursday, and like it was like okay, we're almost done with the week and ready for the game. But I just think
See,
that. Go ahead.
I would just say that defensive performance just didn't really bother me that much until that blown play in the second half. But I think McCarthy already addressed the main issue, which was oh shit, I didn't have my O line prepared, my backups prepared for that game, and I think that's where the biggest crux of the problem comes from.
Well,
Uh,
I do think in that Arizona game too, we talked about how part of complementary football on the defensive side is making sure that you're hitting the right gaps, and you saw that against New England. Damone Clark shooting in through. That's possible when your defensive line is going and keeping their lanes. So. You saw improvement on something that they did poorly in that Arizona game. So, I mean, you do see the ability to adjust week to week. You just can't have it that week.
I guess what happened when Trayvon Diggs went down, I think this is what a lot of the defenders were saying, and even Dan Quinn said was like there was too much hero ball going on, and so I guess that would go into the point of Justin, your point of being emotional. But I do have a question, Justin. I mean, obviously this can't be answered, but like, where do you think that emotion comes from? Because it always felt like Diggs was the rock. I guess, well, in hindsight, Diggs might have been like the rock of this defense. We've seen Tank always have the captaincy for this team for a long time since he's been here the longest. But he's not really the most like vocal guy. He's just kind of like outspoken, if that makes sense. So where does this emotion come from in this defense? And I dare say, does it come from Micah Parsons? Because we all know that man gets kind of emotional. But I would say,
That's what I mean. I swear, I think when you hear the word emotional, like I think it comes with this certain negative connotation of, oh my goodness, this person just cannot control themselves and just cannot like they're just like crying boohoo or angry yada yada yada. But like I don't know. I just think that like to the hero ball stuff, to the man, I just gotta go make this play for 7. I gotta go make this play for Diggs. I gotta go out there and set a tone because we lost our brother today or whatever, and da 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 da. Where it's just like, guys, you ain't gotta go out there and light the entire world on fire. Today, you don't have to light it on that first play. You don't have to light it on the first drive. You don't have to light it through that whole game. You just need to go out there and do your job. And I just feel like I think we've seen it in the past, and that's why. And I think this can also. I just hope that they stay kind of learn from that lesson, stay grounded, especially with this San Francisco game coming up, because what comes with that emotion is sometimes like yes, you're gonna be extra focused and extra ready to play, but you're gonna start pressing, and I can't have on Sunday Micah all charged up, ready to go, and he doesn't hold contain because he's trying to make this world breaking play and set a tone. And I can't have Dak going out there, I'm ready to right my wrongs for the last 2 years, and let me just show somebody I could fit this ball into this tight window and then it's a pick. Like, I need them to, this is a big test this upcoming Sunday, to really go on what we're talking about of controlling those emotions and staying grounded and staying within the moment, and like not to be like, oh, I gotta read these people's personalities and whatnot, but like I feel like sometimes it's reflected in their play of they get ultra excited to really try and prove a point, and then it kind of blows up in their face because they get over aggressive, especially on the defensive end.
Yeah, and see, I think it's a twofold thing where you can almost have too much of a good thing. I think you need that kind of attitude because Dan Quinn coached another defense that this defense reminds me of a bit, and it's the Legion of Boom, where they got swagger all across the secondary. They got people hidden. And it wasn't about, and it was about doing your job. You don't got to go out of your job. Just literally stick to what your assignment is. And so I, and Micah is an emotional player. I definitely get that, but I think it really just comes down to if Dan Quinn, Micah needs to control himself, but if Dan Quinn just keeps everyone in assignment, then
But Rudy, those LOB teams, yeah, it really did help that they were what they were, but they did get emotional too much too, to their own detriment. So it's a give or take thing.
Like I'm saying, there's such thing as too much of a good thing, but I think I'd rather have it than be without it. Like I'd rather have
fair
the
enough.
attitude and the swagger and just the way that we come to play with that attitude.
Going into the San Fran game, there is one question that we haven't seen the Cowboys answer, and that is, how does this team perform when playing from behind? All 3 victories, they've shot out to a 2-score lead, and they've ran away with it because of the defense pinning their ears back and going after the quarterback who needs to go get points and can't rely on the run game. Arizona was the lone exception. So I guess, and the Cowboys offense, like Justin said, was kind of pressing with Dak Prescott, kind of pressing down the stretch of the game. So how does we see the team's formula to winning? But what if that formula gets a little muddled and the 49ers jump out to, let's just say, I don't know, a touchdown lead? How does this team address that?
You know how the NFL is. Say what you want about Staley, he right. That man says it's always going to be a touchdown game at the end of the game. To be honest, it's the NFL, and honestly, I don't know. I mean, like we can rewind the tape next week, and you'd be like, Justin, you're totally wrong. But I can see this play totally playing out like this playoff game was, where it's just tight the entire way. No one's really getting in the end zone. It's just trading blows with the field goal teams, and it's just going to be one of those situations, because I don't know, thinking about both playoff games where they played each other, I feel like they all kind of played out. They played out the same way, in the sense of not how everybody says it's been playing out, but like in a way that I feel like both games were evenly matched, in a sense of both on the scoreboard, and kind of like in a way of how the game was played. Like I just feel like it all came down to someone making a play at the end or not making a play at the end. Like the 2021 playoff game. I feel like if Cedric Wilson, like, yes, it would have been a tough catch, but if he makes that catch on fourth down, hey, you probably win that game because you probably go in there and take the lead, if I'm not mistaken, on that drive where if he makes that diving catch into the red zone. Well, we saw in the last game in 2022, Kittle makes that lucky catch where he maybe the rules kind of bail him out because he can't get killed while he's juggling the ball. Well, there you go. He makes the play to make the difference in the game, where it came down to kind of that one drive for San Francisco. So I could totally see this game playing out the same way. So to answer your question, Ian, I don't know if we're gonna find out that answer just because of the way these two teams kind of play each other over the years.
Well, I will say we can look kind of back to last year. I know different guy calling the plays, but the Cowboys tend not to completely fall out of games. They'll hang around and force an OT versus Jacksonville or what have you. So I don't I wouldn't think that we start going completely away from what we have done if we go down, let's say, like 10, 17 points or whatever. Um, and I saw someone put a clip up of Arizona versus the Niners, and it was Josh Dobbs, but anything underneath was wide open. And the Cowboys this year, a lot of passing the flats, they're hitting the slants, and there are plays to there are open receivers there. So I think as long as we don't go out of what works, like we just start chucking it deep, as long as we don't do that, I think we'll be perfectly fine to try to at least make a comeback. But I just don't want to overextend ourselves.
I do have a key of the game, but you guys did bring up two interesting points that I wanted to address. We began this segment talking about big plays that wasn't there in the Arizona game that were resurfaced against the Patriots game. Justin, am I correct though in saying like what you think this comes down to is big plays, or is it consistent plays against the 49ers of just making sure Cedric Wilson, that's a consistent play, make a catch. Trayvon
Well,
Diggs, just be consistent and make a breakup. Or is that a big play? Like that's a game changing
I
play.
wouldn't. I mean, I guess it's to not to be a cop, not to cop out, but I guess you could say it's the same or it applies both ways. Like I wouldn't say like big plays made a difference in the game last year. Like maybe one big play did, but like the whole like because you made a big play with CD Lamb down the sideline or whatever on that deep ball. Like I don't think there was like big plays all across the board that game. But you could also make the argument, hey, that big play by Kittle made all the difference in the world because they had uh, all the momentum after that or whatever for that singular drive because they kind of stalled out the rest of the way and you still had an opportunity well within your grasp. So I don't know. I would lean towards it's more so of consistency, consistently finishing drives, consistently not protecting the football, consistently staying in your rush lanes, consistently stopping the run, things of that nature. I'd rather see that than like living and dying by the big play on this game.
Okay, the key to the game I think is going to be the quarterback matchup, Dak versus Brock. Whoever makes the least mistakes is going to be the winner. And a lot of people hype on Dak. Like, oh, he's interception waiting to happen. Blah blah blah. He turnover. I don't know. There's a lot of negativity around Dak. But if you've been watching San Fran, Brock Purdy's right there. People just haven't capitalized on his mistakes. I think that's the key to the matchup of who makes more or less mistakes to say, and that'll determine the winner of the game.
Yeah, I think it was like the first game of the season where there was one or two that Brock Purdy could have had going back the other way for six, but he doesn't tend to make too many mistakes, and I do think it is going to end up coming back to who is more careful with the ball. So, it's a toss up for me. I don't think, again, I'm not like one of these people that think Dak throws a ton of interceptions or he's like a turnover waiting to happen. But I mean, it's possible. I don't know. I'm a little worried about it.
All right, Rudy. It's time to collect. What did you say? What did you say last week was going to happen
All
about a
right.
certain 70-point team or whatever doing do what and what now?
Yeah. Okay. So because I'll be upfront with my failure. I said that the Miami Dolphins would beat the Buffalo Bills, and they did not. They decided to play like garbage. Their defense was non-existent. They allowed 30 points by halftime. Josh Allen did not turn over the ball one time, which is the only way the Buffalo Bills ever get stopped. So it was not good for me in my prediction there. I got to eat crow on that one.
I'm glad you're upfront with your failure because we'll be addressing that again in the next segment. But yeah,
Oh god.
I guess what's not a surprise is your boy was once again correct that Miami just don't know how to fare in the New York area unless they're at home in 100-degree weather. They just ain't ready for it. But yeah, I think the key there was just the defensive performance by Miami was yucky at best, but horrific at worst.
And I'm telling you, man, don't
I
this is an
promise.
important lesson to learn. And Rudy, you don't take the bait like a lot of other people, but for the people listening right now, this is an important lesson for y'all to learn, bro. Just because some team does something during during 1 week does not mean that this team is going to be the greatest team ever created, or this is going to be the greatest. Who's going to beat this team? Man, just take it week by week, bro. If you pass your test every week, you're gonna pass the class, bro. Or you
I,
don't have to
I
go
think
ahead, Ian.
Justin works with the Miami Dolphin fan, man. Because I swear to God, there was not that much noise going on. I mean, yes, it was like 70 points, but I swear it was not that
Oh, you kidding me? Are
No,
you kidding?
Justin's
all
right.
right, okay.
The entire world of social media blew up, and I wasn't specifically picking them to win that game just because of that. But yeah, no, the entire sports landscape blew up when they dropped 70. They got a lot of hype.
And I'm not when I say this isn't me talking to Rudy. This is talking about the group of people that Rudy was talking about because oh my word. Because Rudy knows what I'm talking about. These people were just like, man, 70 points. Who could stop that? Look at all this motion that they're running. How do you stop the Dolphins? And I'm like, bro, who do they got next? I said, oh, they got Buffalo. All right, bro. I already know how this is gonna go. Let me go ahead, man. If we were in Vegas, Rudy, or if we were in a state that you could do that, let's just say I might put a whole check on Buffalo just because we know how this goes with that team, with those two teams. Like, let's be real, dude.
Fair
Well,
enough. Fair
guys,
enough.
yeah, if we want to be real, we might have to address the potential third string curse that might have happened last week. Is that I think we spent a fair amount of time hyping up Jordan Love and the Green Bay
Oh,
Packers. That quickly came crashing down within 24 hours as the Lions stuck it to Green Bay in Green Bay on Thursday night. I think I guaranteed that as an easy W for the Green Bay Packers on a short week. That did not happen.
yeah, it was a little short sighted on our part. We really, because I was really getting the Jordan Love train going, but I ain't gonna hop off the bandwagon just yet. I think he's still gonna be competent. But yeah,
Yeah,
we really put the cart before the horse in that
and,
sense.
and let's give some credit to Detroit as well. And David Montgomery. David Montgomery is the whole offense. Dude,
Well,
what did
all
he
right.
run for? Like,
Hold on,
he ran
122 or 32, something like that.
32 carries for 121 and 3 touchdowns. And side note, as a Jameer Gibbs fantasy owner, it sucks.
we,
But
All right. But
back to the game. Yeah. I got sucked into the love fest for Jordan, and I'm pretty sure when we get to the pick'ems in a second, you're gonna tell us that we all got that one wrong. But I mean, to be fair, Detroit is solid. So I mean, it's not like they just pooped the bed against a team that they should be beating, and it's a divisional
okay.
game too.
Okay, let me say this. Rudy, absolutely wrong about getting hyped for Detroit. I still ain't believing it. Like you said, it's division. I just rate that as a divisional game. But I will support you on David Montgomery as the president of the Running Backs Matter Committee. Shout out to my boy. Obviously, his rushing average won't be too flattering. But like
Who
Rudy said,
cares about that?
He got three hard-earned touchdowns down in the goal line. And if anybody's a Cowboy fan, which we know you guys are if you're listening, that ain't easy to come by. And Montgomery delivered on Thursday night. So shout out to my boy Montgomery and taking snaps away from Gibbs because that boy just know how to get into the end zone. It just is what it is. Let's be honest. The man know how to get the hard in yards and know how to hit the holes.
Bro, did you see Dan Campbell at the end of that game? He said, "Hey, the Packers are coming back. I know who to ride, bro. Let me have Montgomery take us home." And that man got some tough yards, bro, and some old school. This is what the NFL needs these days. Is those type of Montgomery performances. I don't care about the yards per carry. Just keep toting the rock and take us home.
Yeah, fair enough. And you think, man, Chicago's such a poorly run organization. I don't know. Montgomery leaves you, goes to Detroit, and becomes their like clear number one feature back. Dominates every game he's in. They just let him go.
Let me say this. In the NFC North, we had two running backs leaving the destination. One is David Montgomery going from Chicago over to Detroit. The other one is a bum named no. I'm sorry, I can't say that. The other one is DeAndre Swift going from Detroit over to Philadelphia. Let's just go ahead and compare them. I don't know, throughout the season. Bro, David Montgomery impressed me. Swift unimpressed me. I don't know where I was going with that, but I just had to say that real quick.
You weren't going anywhere. You just drove off the side of the road to hit DeAndre Swift. We weren't even talking about the Eagles.
Yeah, we
got to clip.
We got to clip that man because all that hoopla. That man didn't do much this week, didn't he? Hold on, let me pull up this man.
No, he did not.
Swift? Yeah, that man was. Don't let that touchdown fool you, bro. 56 yards. Yuck.
I mean, they needed to keep scoring because Washington was in the game.
Well, all I was told is, man, look at Swift, bro. He's so dynamic. Look at him in the open field. They finally met a formidable, stout run defense, and that man reverted back to what he is, bro.
No, he had 4 yards of carry and a touchdown.
No.
Yes, he did. That's factual. That is factual. He did do that.
This is getting chaotic, but I remember my point was Montgomery is who people think DeAndre Swift is. And Montgomery is a good running back. DeAndre Swift is solid. I don't know. I don't want to poo-poo somebody playing in the NFL.
I don't even think people hyping DeAndre Swift up.
Before we call him a good NFL running back, because let's be honest, he was a good college running back. Before we call him a good NFL running back, can he get to 800 yards this year?
This is Swift or this is who?
Yeah, who are we talking about?
DeAndre Swift. Hey, Montgomery's gotten 1,000, bro. Don't shortchange our man right now. Come on now.
Eagles are kind of weird with splitting.
I will say no. I will flat out say no.
Miles Sanders, I think, has gotten to 800 before.
Oh, well, in that case.
So I don't talk about carrying. Don't talk about they share carries or whatnot. This is the bare minimum. If DeAndre Swift
do so much with what you got.
Nah, bro. If he is what people have been saying what he is, I expect 800 yards this season.
I'll tell you this. I would expect him to. The only thing that stops him is Nick Sirianni. It's not his talent. It's Nick Sirianni.
There's a reason why he don't get the carries, but I digress.
All right.
I'm not as even a member, led the team in carries.
As the president of the Running Backs Matter Committee, this conversation has gotten me a little uncomfortable because I might be poo-pooing one of my members. But with that being said, I want to give a shout out to King Derrick Henry, who led the week with 122 yards. But also, it's por la cultura month. Isaiah Pacheco, shout out to my boy for putting on a performance on Sunday night. And let's just say, I don't know, off the top of my head, that man, I think averaged 115 yards and a 5.8 average with the touchdown. I mean, what a performance. What a performance by Isaiah Pacheco. Shout out to my boy.
Incredible you had those numbers off the top of your head.
It just comes to me.
He locked in with all the infomercial of, like, you know, the Elijah Vera Tuckers of the world, the Christian Gonzalez. Who else?
Okay.
The Chris Olaves. Oh, your boy Derek Carr let that man down, bro. In the Hispanic heritage
Wait,
too.
Derek Carr? I thought that man was on hurt.
Yeah, he tried to tough it out and he couldn't get him to rock this week.
Oh.
Yeah. No, when it comes to, like, okay, first of all, Pacheco had a great performance. And then I wanted to talk about that game. And then I remember I gave up on the game because there was too much talk of a certain
Hold on. No. Stop. We don't mention that name, bro.
I didn't say a name.
Yeah, you can address it as redacted, but we don't have to.
There's nothing to
I
address.
don't want to call her Deshaun Watson either.
Oh, that.
Hang on, that's too close. All right, well, speaking of Deshaun, speaking of redact.
But hold on, before you get to that, not to bully you, Rudy, but I will say this. I will say this in regards to that game. I don't want to ever hear about untapped markets when Cowboys 49ers blows that game out of the water, when that game couldn't even beat a Cowboys game from last season in Lambeau at a 3:00 window. So continue.
Hey, that's a good argument
on me.
Yeah, no. But he's speaking facts, real talk. But speaking of Deshaun Watson,
real talk.
Speaking of Deshaun Watson, that man was redacted from the game due to injury against the Ravens. But DTR took his spot. And though I was hyped about DTR, the man shows inexperience against the Ravens. And the real quarterback of that game, Action Jackson, showed out. Got a nice W, despite the unserious nature and the injury nature of the Baltimore Ravens.
The case of the Raven.
Exactly. They still had their customary complimentary fumble that just ends with Lamar Jackson doing one of these. But they still got the W comfortably, might I add, against a solid Browns defense in Cleveland. And so just want to give a shout out to Action Jackson as a, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't much the Ravens could really, do to lose this game when your opposing...
Whoa! Rudy, you must have missed the point where I said the Ravens' unserious nature.
It's a Raven game, bro. There's always something to lurking.
The opponent scored 3 points. I mean, unless you were seriously fooling around, the most foolish of behaviors, you can't lose that game. And they did not.
Have you seen?
I don't think you're following the Ravens, man.
It was.
This is a Ravens fan.
100 yards and 3 touchdowns. There's nothing you can do wrong there.
This is a part Ravens podcast, bro. We've seen too many Ravens games.
I've come to learn that.
Where some foolishness is always lurking in the corner. Whether it be
luckily for y'all, there was no foolishness this week.
Well, there was, because it literally happens every week, bro. Someone catches the case of the Raven, aka injury, or a back puts the ball on the turf, or Lamar puts the ball on the turf, and it's always at the most inopportune time. But to your point, Rudy, I will give you credit. That was kept to a limited because they were able to win that game comfortably. But
for sure.
All right, let's move on over to another AFC North team. The Steelers just got absolutely punked by the pads popping Houston Texans. What a performance by D'Amico Ryan's crew.
Did you see the physicality of that defense? Man, every single time, bro. It may not be the big hits, but they all be flying to the football, laying some shoulder into a ball carrier, even if it's to their own detriment.
Did Petrie finish the game? Because I know that man always at risk.
Yeah, he did. He was laying the wood. He came back, and that man was him. And the fact that they got Jimmy Ward back there with him with bringing him over from San Fran. Boy, them two, and there's always like a linebacker lurking here and there, waiting to throw a shoulder in there, the top off a runner.
Dude, yeah. Not only were they popping pads, but Houston can throw the ball now. This team is interesting. I would never have watched a Houston Texans game last year, but I may this year. Or
Oh,
2 years ago, maybe. They were popping pads last year. I'll give them some credit. They were popping pads. But no, dude, they allowed, 6 points in that game? That's a fun team. They're an interesting team with C.J. Stroud. You got Nico Collins and Tank Dell at receivers. That's an interesting. Now, get the tight end out of there. I don't care for him.
He scored.
He scored, yeah.
Broken clock is right twice a day. I mean, it
But
just happens.
to be fair though, it was a funny touchdown because I think it was a running back pass
And
that
Devin
got him a
Singletary
touchdown. So
passed
yeah,
it to
so it
him.
was a gimmick touchdown for Mr. Schultz. But
Boy, Schultz be getting in the end zone. Don't discredit that man.
by any means
That was,
necessary, if it's a trick, if it's a gimmick, that man will score.
Devin Singletary had the arm. He made the play. Schultz was there.
But dare I say it, AFC South. Oh no, what am I talking about? That's the Titans, bro.
No, you know what? I will confidently say the Texans.
No, it's gonna be a talk about No, you know what? I need to mark my calendar now. I gotta see when the Titans and the Texans play, bro. Because talk about physicality. Those two teams are gonna kill each other, bro. They might come out with a case of the Raven after that game.
I was gonna say, Justin, I think Titans already have a case of unseriousness because they absolutely poo-pooed themselves the week before, and then they just absolutely obliterate the Bengals.
Well, but all it's gonna take is gonna be 9-8 to win this division.
I think I'll take the Texans, man.
Well, it's gonna come down to those two because they kicked the Bengals' ass, bro. They just
Their
whooped
first
them.
game isn't till December 17th.
Oh, don't tell me they have a back-to-back.
Oh boy,
And then
that's
the
gonna
31st.
that's gonna be so physical in the cold too.
Dude, the only thing that can ruin that matchup is injuries. That actually does sound entertaining.
It's gonna be ugly.
Yeah, but that's what you're looking for in a pop pattern team versus
Man,
a
it's
Vrabel team.
it's gonna be
That's
so
exactly what-
special.
Yeah, that actually could be entertaining. I will say that. But
Well-
not for a while.
Yeah, true. But speaking of unserious, let's mosey on over to the AFC West. Rudy's favorite offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore and his Chargers, did get a W against Justin's Air Raiders. But my goodness, I don't even know. We previewed this game as two coaches who are looking to be fired first last week. I still don't know. Even though we have McDaniels as a loser, I think Staley is still trying to take the cake on the that bet.
Yeah, the Raiders just can't afford to fire McDaniel. Like, they're just too broke to do it.
Literally. Yeah.
That's their only problem. Like, he should be the first one fired. Staley shouldn't be too far behind, but I swear with every other win,
Bro, he
that
really
ownership group might just be accepting and be all right with it.
that quarterback sneak, bro. Oh my goodness. Why? And then I'm not gonna poo-poo when they actually accomplish the goal, but the goal for a yard on third and 8 with the game on the just begging to give the Raiders the ball back, even though they did complete the pass out. Oh, not even though they were still talking about this game. Not to be a old man here, but an ejection, really? Y'all know what I'm
That
talking
was
about.
for the late hit, right?
Yeah.
Remind me again. I think I saw it, but I'm blanking right now.
Tillery smoked Herbert on his way out of bounds.
Oh, that's when the fight
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
An ejection, really? Like, give him the 15 yards, sure, whatever. Give him a fine, I guess. But an ejection? All right, man. What are we doing?
No, I actually do recall seeing Tillery start. He's on the sideline. He's kind of walking towards the locker room. I'm not thinking too much of it, and I look back and he's entering the tunnel. I'm like, Oh, they kicked him out of the game for that. Okay, that wasn't to the level of an ejection,
Yeah, I don't
but
know what was more
it's protect the
disgusting.
QBs at all costs.
Aiden O'Connell holding on the ball so Khalil Mack can get 6 sacks or that ejection.
Yeah. All right, now it's that time of the week where we do the pick'ems. Ian, why don't you tell us how we did last week?
I'd be happy to. Well, as I teased in the last segment, Rudy, you are bringing up the rear with only 6 wins last week, my guy. And then Justin and I also tied with 10 wins. So that means the total. Let's see. Oh shit! I lost my spot. I believe I'm at 27. Justin, you're at 25, and Rudy, you're at 22 wins.
Oh man. Okay. Well, I was just goofing. I wanted y'all to, boost the ego a bit, have a little head start.
Fair
But the
enough.
comeback begins today. And it starts with the Thursday night matchup where we've got the Chicago Bears traveling to Washington to take on the Commanders. The Commanders are 6-point favorites. Who do y'all got there?
I'll take the Commandos.
Where is it?
In Washington.
Okay, yeah, give me the Commanders.
All right, and I will also take Washington, so clean sweep for them there. Moving on to Sunday, where we've got the Jacksonville Jaguars traveling to Buffalo to take on the Bills, where the Buffaloes are a 5.5-point favorites. Who do y'all got?
Give me Buffalo.
Not enough to be interesting. Yeah, give me Buffalo.
Buffalo as well. Another clean sweep.
Oh, we see your strategy. We see.
I'll be honest. Sometimes I want to pick with y'all, and then I'll intentionally pick against it because it's not fun if we always pick the same game. And that strategy screwed me last week.
Feel free to go first then.
Yeah.
I may. Okay, moving on. We've got the Houston Texans traveling to Atlanta, where the Falcons are a 2-point favorite. Who y'all got?
Give me the Pads popping. I'm surprised
Yes,
they're not
sir.
the favorites.
Another sweep. Pads popping for me. Moving on. Carolina Panthers are traveling to Detroit, where Detroit is a 10-point favorite.
God damn.
Who do y'all got?
Ugh. Give me the Panthers to cover. No way Detroit gonna win. No, gonna do all that. Like, goodness gracious.
I mean, they did against Green Bay, so I'll take the Lions.
That game
too
couldn't
will
have
take the
gone any
Lions.
worse than for the Packers, but still keep the Panthers the cover on there for me, Rudy.
Okay.
Pride will be shown.
All right. Moving on. We've got the Tennessee Titans traveling to Indy to take on the Colts, where the Colts are a 2-point underdog. Who do y'all got?
Give me the Titans.
All right.
I'll go Tennessee.
Yeah, screw it. Give me the Colts.
Okay. Bet. Moving on. We've got the Giants taking on Miami, where the Dolphins are an 11.5-point favorite.
Goodness.
Who do y'all got?
Give me the Giants to cover. It couldn't get any worse than what happened Monday night. Pride will be shown. These are professionals.
Man, give me the Dolphins.
Yeah, kind of for the same reason, Justin. The Dolphins are going to show some pride here, and they're going to cover that one. Give me the Miami Dolphins.
Bro, that game was horrendous Monday. There's no way that they lay an egg like that again.
Bro, that's what I'm saying, Justin. That the Dolphins scored twice. How are the Giants going to kick a field goal?
They're going to make it happen. Bro, just wait on it.
Moving on. We've got the New Orleans Saints traveling to New England to take on the Patriots. The Patriots are a 1 point favorite. Who do y'all
Oof.
have?
Give me New England because I think Derek Carr's arm is about to fall off.
Mm, yeah, I'll take New England.
Uh, do I do it? Clean sweep, New England. I really want it. I didn't want the Saints initially, but I almost did. All right. We've got the Baltimore Ravens traveling to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. The Ravens are a 4 point favorite. Who do y'all got there?
The Ravens because it's either gonna be a one-legged Kenny Pickett or your boy Mitch Trubisky.
Mitch the bitch? No, thank you. Give me Lamar Jackson. Action Jackson.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't think 4 points is enough for the Steelers anyway. So give me the.
Do we need to revisit our unserious conversation?
We can
Dude,
revisit it next
this is
week.
gonna be a
We'll
game that's
revisit it
gonna
next
be
week.
It's gonna be
We'll
like a
wait till-
Justin Tucker field goal game winner or some nonsense
Yeah.
like this.
God,
Unfortunately,
okay,
Especially since it's in Pittsburgh. But
we're all taking the Ravens there. Moving on. We've got the Cincinnati Bengals traveling to Arizona to take on the Cardinals, where the Bengals are a 3 point favorite.
Oh, absolutely not. Ew.
Who you got?
Give me Arizona.
yep.
Okay, I will go with Cincinnati. Hopefully they don't burn
Whoa.
me there. Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Mm.
All right, we've got Philly traveling to LA to take on the Rams. Philly is a 4.5 point favorite. Who do y'all got there?
Give me Philly.
Yeah, give me Philly.
I too will take Philly.
Hey, Rudy, you got to go first, man. I could just tell
Okay. I'll start going first.
that man
It
wants
hurts
the
sometimes.
that man wants the opposite so bad. Like,
Well, no. I don't like picking when both. Like, if I was going to pick Philly initially, but if both of y'all take it, then I suddenly don't want to take Philly anymore. That's the problem. But I
gotta
have
go
to stick with
first.
my gut at some point. Okay. Moving on, we've got the Jets traveling to Denver to take on the Broncos, where the Broncos are a 1.5 point favorite.
what?
Really?
I'll go ahead and go first this time, and I'll take the Jets.
I too will take the chance.
Yeah, give me the Jets.
Okay.
What?
Moving on, we've got the Kansas City Chiefs traveling to Minnesota to take on the Vikings, where the Chiefs are 4 point favorites. Who you got?
Mm. I'm gonna take a gamble here. That's the name of the game. Give me the Vikings to cover.
I like your thinking, Justin, but I just can't believe in the Vikings. Give me the Chiefs.
I too am taking the Chiefs. Now, Sunday Night Football. We've got the Dallas Cowboys taking on, in San Francisco, the 49ers. The 49ers are a 4 point favorite at the moment. Who do y'all got winning that game?
Give
Boys.
me the 49ers.
I'll say the Cowboys keep it within 4 and cover. I take the Dallas Cowboys. And lastly, Monday Night Football, we've got the Green Bay Packers traveling to Vegas to take on the Raiders. The Packers are a 1 point favorite. Fellas, who do you got?
It's a nice aesthetically pleasing game.
True. Give me the pack. Go pack, go.
Yeah, give me love. Got to do with it.
Yep. Love in Sin City. I'll take it.
Anything else?
Nah.
Air Raiders! I love this.